The relationship between Jesus and us is very personal and intimate. Dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, in today's Gospel we see that Jesus is continuing with His healing ministry. The people brought to Him a person who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech. Most probably, that person knew hardly anything about Jesus. But it is because of the faith of those people who brought him to Jesus that Jesus performs the miracle. We know our difficulty when a person has a hearing defect, how we find it hard to make the person understand what we want to communicate to him, and the frustration we have when we cannot speak even for a short time. You can imagine the trouble of a person who is born deaf and mute. He or she would experience the impatience and unwelcoming attitude of people around him or her. However, in the Gospel we see that Jesus didn't send the deaf and mute person away as others did. Instead, He takes him away from the crowd, restores his speech, and opens his ears. Though he was one among those gathered around Jesus, the experience of healing for him was something very personal. It was an experience of one-to-one relationship. After the miracle, Jesus instructed him not to tell others of the healing he received. However, He made him known with greater zeal. In our daily life, we meet Jesus in the Eucharist. He comes to our hearts to be one with us, sharing our joys and sorrows. Though we worship Him with many believers, the relationship between Jesus and us is very personal and intimate. He has time for every one of us. The healing of the deaf and the mute was different from that of others. Similarly, the way Jesus responds to me varies from how He responds to others. That's why the relationship between Jesus and His believers differs from person to person. The greater I desire Him, the closer He comes to me. The man in today's Gospel experienced Jesus' healing power, and he proclaimed it to all others. Though it was very personal, he made it known to all others to lead others also to God. Likewise, we too receive numerous blessings in our life because of Christ's intervention. Yet, most of the time, we fail to acknowledge those blessings or show gratitude to Him. Though we are aware of His ever-loving presence in our lives, often we remain mute and deaf to His love. Today, let's imitate the deaf and the mute man whom Jesus healed. Just like Him, let us proclaim Jesus with greater zeal and fervor by our words and action, so that the Gospel may be announced through us. Thus, the proclamation of the Gospel may bring conversion and healing to all those who hear it. Amen.